At roughly 5:30 a.m. on the morning of September 13th, 2024, Luton Police received a call from a concerned resident at Leabank Court. This resident had been woken up by a ton of noise, loud bangs, screaming and shouting coming from the 8th floor flat upstairs. And when they went up to investigate, they heard what sounded like a boy groaning, followed by the unmistakable crack of a gunshot. Unsurprisingly, that neighbour completely re-evaluated their plan to knock on the door and get into some kind of altercation about a noise complaint. They realised that this situation was something way more serious and likely fatal. About 20 minutes later at 5:50 a.m, armed police were all over Leabank Courts, and can you imagine the absolute chaos and panic in the neighbourhood? This wasn't just your everyday drug raid, this was armed police, and even in Luton, this is a massive deal. When armed police show up, you know something truly horrific has probably happened. The police were banging on the front door of the flats and screaming to announce their arrival, but there was no answer, and so they had no choice but to break down the door. Now, even the most senior officers, the veterans, the hardened ones who have been there and seen it all, the domestic violence, the stabbings, the shootings, the gang-related street violence, nothing, and I mean nothing, in this world could have prepared them for what they were about to see, because what had occurred behind that door at Leabank Court was nothing short of a massacre. At around 4:30 a.m. that morning, Nicholas Prosper had started to make his preparations for the day ahead. He'd got dressed into his outlandish yellow and black outfit. He was preparing the weapons, the shotgun, the knife, the ammunition, when at some point at around 4:50 a.m, his mother, Juliana, woke up to the noise coming from her son's bedroom. So she wakes up and she's annoyed, it's still very early in the morning, and she's thinking, what the hell is he doing in there? And then she hears a loud bang. So now she's justifiably concerned. So she walks into the room and she tries to grab the shotgun from Nicholas, but Nicholas resists, and they actually end up in a physical altercation which spills out into the hallway, at which point Nicholas grabs a kitchen knife and launches an attack on his mum. She tries to defend herself. She suffers all kinds of defensive wounds on her hands, on her arms, and ultimately, at 18 years old, Nicholas is just much stronger than his mum. And that's when Nicholas looked at his mum straight in the eyes, raised the gun and aimed it at her face. Bang! Nicholas Prosper pulled the trigger, shooting his mother in the face from point-blank range. Juliana fell to the floor, dying instantly.